Hello, everyone. How are you doing? This is your girl, Lisa Baxter. Let's fix that. Oh, I just want to talk to you today about spending time with children because I used to be a special needs coordinator in the daycares and Head Start programs, and when children had different types of ways of learning and different types of ways of dealing with when they had a disability on the different ways of learning. And sometimes the parents would be upset, or the parents would recognize it and come to the school and tell us about it, so we would work together and help them. So by the time the child got to public school, the child would you know have reached all the things that they had to reach to get there. So they would work with the other children, work in the school at the same speed, or at least try to get them at the where they needed to be at that time. So I was asked to do this, what I'm doing today. I was asked to do this on a Zoom about the benefits of spending time with your child and how it helps them emotionally and how it helps them mentally and the different things that you could do with them. So I'm sharing my own thoughts and experience and other people's as well. Excuse me. Okay. So we're gonna get to it, and I won't hold you long. But it was just these are some of the things that I learned and I remembered. All right, I'm a little swollen here. Excuse me. Um, a child brain develops more between the ages of 1 to 5. A child brain develops more than any other time. So after 5, it's not doing the same thing. So, but between the age of 1 and 5, a child brain develops more than any other time. Um, they are the speech, the language development, the fine, and the gross motor skills. All right. Between the ages of 3 and 4 years old, this is a great time to build your child's relationship with you. It's a great time to even build a relationship with other children. You have sometimes the child may be an only child. You have some where they only know the children, no children in the house or the home. So going to school, they get to know other children. They learn so much. They see different nationalities of children. They learn that there are rules in other places besides house or home. If they know the rules of the house and home, they know rules of school and things of that nature, and certain things that you can't do or say. You learn so much while you're in preschool and while you in those beginning stages of being in school. But you do learn to socialize and make friends and stuff like that. Some of these things you can also learn some of the stuff in the home, but some things you have to learn from outside of the home as well. Okay. Um, Stories. I learned that my father used to tell me stories all the time. But there are times when you tell children stories. I don't know if you've read the books to them or what you did. But sometimes the Three Little Pigs was one of my favorite. The Three Little Bears was another favorite. I love the part about Huff and Puff and pull the house down. You're like, oh. So Curious George was one of my favorites as well. Harry by the Sea was one of my favorites too. You know what I mean? And poor Curious George would get into all kinds of trouble, and you remember the man with the big yellow hat. So that always made me laugh. But you can also have your children tell you a story or develop their own stories, and you listen to it. They get so excited because you're listening to their story, so you seeing what they say and how they imagination runs and grows and how it develops and what have you, and it tickles you inside, but it makes you feel good, and it definitely makes them feel good. You know what I mean? So you can, like I said, make up a story or give them tell their favorite story. Sometimes children have their favorite story. I wasn't the only one that had a favorite story. You got children that have favorite story too. I used to make up a character with my nieces and them called I call her Sally Mae Johnson. I would talk like this. And the funny thing about it, when I saw the Rugrats show years later, I saw that one of the characters talked like Sally Mae Johnson. But every time I would do the character, the kids would fall in line and do the characters with me. That was Ja and Shana. I would do that with, and Tawana, and all of them would have a good time. And they had made up names too, like Crystal and what have you. And we would laugh and have a good time. And even though they're grown, we still laugh about that time. So you develop not only a relationship, but a good memory for your child as well. Drawing pictures. You can have them draw pictures. You know what I mean? Even cut out what they draw, hang stuff up on the refrigerator. They love their stuff displayed. Even when they're in school and you come, whether to pick them up, drop them off, or, maybe it's parents' night or something like that, they love when you see some, Mommy, I made this. Daddy, I made that. Oh, you see the thing I made? Sometimes they bring this stuff home. You try to keep it all, but it gets to be something else. I already know. I was one of the people that kept everything. I think my husband threw some stuff out. It's like for so many years. But I learned if you could take pictures of it, it could go a long way as well if you didn't have it anymore, if it got old or destroyed, crumbled or whatever. You know what I mean? But when you can have them draw different things, because a lot of times children have emotions too. Things that make them upset, things that make them sad and mad, and they might not know how to display that. They may be, I know we had things inside of the school where I worked where they had puppets, and they had uh, children with disabilities in a wheelchair or with a dog, so they see that children can be blind, or children might not look sick but they're in a wheelchair or have crutches or whatever it is, so they can understand disabilities. So when they are angry, a lot of times I remember the teacher saying, well, why are you upset? Tell so and so why you upset. That was a way of like resolving a conflict in the classroom, when the child say, well, he took my thing, or he's not my friend, or he don't talk to me, whatever he said, because you know how they speak. And you'll say, well, why you not his friend, or why you took his toy, and tell him how you felt when he took the toy. I didn't like when you took it. I'm sorry, what have you. And then you get the ones that be a little more upset, or they take the sorry, and they just learn from their situations, and they learn from you. A lot of times, some of the things that you do around children learn from you, the way you love, how you hug them and show affection, and they just learn so much stuff. They soak everything up like a sponge. That when I took Montessori, that's one of the things they said. The children's mind is like a sponge. They soak everything up. All right. You can do the different emotions sometimes even in your face. What's a mad face? What's a happy face? And stuff like that. What's a sad face? you know and even though after a while they'll understand that as they're being done, or it's being done. You know what I mean? You could tell them jokes, you could tell them riddles, you could be silly with them. Children love you to be silly with them. You're making faces and stuff like that, and you're running around and playing with them or chasing them and stuff like that. They just get a kick out of it, and they never forget that you've done these things when they grow up. Play games with them. Simple rules, Mother May I games, red light, green light. Those are things that you can play with them outside, and it gives them, they get fresh air, they get a chance to run around, so they be nice and tired when they get home. You know what I mean? So that's good too. You know what I mean? They're running around outside, they're getting fresh air, they're moving around, they're playing with you. They're seeing the other kids outside, or the neighbors, whoever's outside, also playing in the playground, the park, in front of the door, wherever you're playing, in the backyard. You know what I mean? So outside get them moving, and outside also get them learning. I remember we was taking the children on a walk just through the community and neighborhood, so they could see what the stores were, and see what the red lights and the green lights, and crossing the street. We did a lesson even on that. Crossing the street, and how you don't do this, and how you got to be with a parent, and talking to strangers and stuff like that, and using words like please and thank you and things like that. So it teaches them a lot of stuff, and they get a chance to show it. Okay? All right. Riddles, joke, silly, playing games. Okay, Mother May. All right. And a lot of times too, words, the words you use, it helps them to develop the words. You know what I mean? Sometimes you'll know what they're saying, and sometimes you won't know what they're saying. You say, what? But that's the way they say it, or that's the way they express themselves. And sometimes they might even get upset that you don't understand them. Like, Mommy, you didn't hear me out, Lisa. You know, you know, but you can teach them to listen. You can teach them to express themselves. You can also teach them numbers and colors and different words. Sometimes people have a word every day. You know what I mean? And use a letter every day, a color every day, whether they're in school or not, because they'll be learning this stuff in school as well. You know what I mean? So sometimes you'll say the color green, you know what I mean? Not like that. And everything that's green and associated with green, the number one, you know what I mean? What the one looked like. Sometimes even what it's spelled like, even though they're not into letters and stuff yet, some of them might be. So those are different things of that nature. Creating a pretend argument sometimes, with a doll or a stuffed animal or something like that. So, when you be saying, well, what happened? And you say, well, he made me mad or she made me upset. I'm sorry. Whatever it is, you have the kids act things out because sometimes they don't say things straight to you. But sometimes you will see it even when they're playing, when they're upset about something. You say, why you drew that picture? Or what's that? Or what? But the more time you spend with them, the closer you get. The more time you spend with them, the more you know your child. I'm sure parents know their children. You know who started the fight. You know who's quiet. You know who's always trying to get along. The friendly one. You know what I mean? I didn't like arguing and fighting. I could fight, but I didn't like it. You know what I mean? If I did it, I cried and I was upset. Whether I won or lost, I cried. You know what I mean? So you can use the stuffed animals, the dolls, and stuff to talk about their feelings or what happened, you know, um, how to work out their own problems. Because sometimes they argue in a household, when there's more than one child, or maybe one of the family members spent the night that's a kid, a child that's with your child. And sometimes you giving all the attention to the other person. You know how children get. You know what I mean? I know my father gave a lot of attention to my nephew, Timothy, and me and Timothy are close. Me, Duval, and Sean, we all grew up like brothers, and they were my nephews because my siblings were older. It was a lot of us, and their children was either my age or younger than me, but we grew up together and was close. Introduce new words and feelings with pictures. You can use pictures also. You know, um, Encourage them to share and to take turns. You know, and even playing dress up. They say, "Oh, I'm a." I know in the school we had firemen hats and stuff like that, and police officer hat and safety and all of these kind of things that the kids could dress in, so they knew what it was, crossing guard, and so they learned different job descriptions even though they were young. It be in a certain color. It'll look a certain way, and the children just loved it. They dressed up with it and stuff like that. So you can almost read any type of book to them. This is my book that I wrote, but you can read any book to them. They might have their own book. Do a book a week or do a book a month, whatever it takes. And then child will have a collection of books, and some of the books that they'll even take to show and tell at school. Sometimes. And then sometimes the teacher could tell you about a book that you could get with them or for them. And then there are plenty of places out there you can order books or get books or take them to a store or even getting to the library soon. All right. So encourage them to take turns because sometimes children don't know about they supposed to get off the bike or get off the ride or take even with different things of learning in the school. They sometimes don't even know. They'll say, well, no, my turn or me, and you say, no, it's Sally's turn. It's Ephraim's turn. It's Hannah's turn. You know what I mean? It's Raquan's turn, and the children know that you do it for a little while, then the other child do it. Sometimes you just got to explain it to them. Okay. Expose them to other children, help them to play with other children. It gives them a chance to make friends. All right, the library. The library gives them a chance to sit in a group. Sometimes children get antsy. They start moving around. Maybe they're active. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they don't follow rules and regulations, or they don't know how to. So, but you say, no, we're at the library. In the library, we're quiet. In the library, we're sitting down. Somebody else is doing something. Maybe telling a story or doing an activity. So they have to learn to sit. So these are things that you've taken them to, and they won't forget either. You took them to the library. Sometimes maybe it's the school, maybe it's you, maybe it's another family member. Take them to the store. Taking them to the store, that's a new place. Maybe they never been to the grocery store, the corner store, or any other type of store, the 99-cent store. You know what I mean? So take them so they'll see different places. All right. Take them to a restaurant. They learn different foods and different places to eat and how to eat. You got some places you don't need a knife and a fork, and some places you need it. You know what I mean? So you teach them, we don't pork with our mouth for food, stuff like that. Or we don't talk, so you don't choke. Sometimes the kids say, why? They're at their age sometimes, why? And you answer them and they still say, why again? Why? So you just got to be patient and stuff like that. And sometimes I just answer. And I said, didn't I tell you that? Didn't you hear me? You didn't hear me? Okay, I'm gonna tell you again. All right. Now listen. I said, now I don't want you to choke, so don't. I want you to enjoy your food. You know what I mean? Okay. Allow your children opportunities to give, and allow them to be creative with stuff that you give them. Like, say you gave them construction paper or something, you say, "Oh, make me something," or make something, because sometimes you need to keep them engaged. Some kids get bored and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So household work and stuff like that. I remember my mother used to have me pick the lint balls off the off of stuff, especially the rug. I get the little five things off the rug. I was so proud of that. You couldn't tell me I was good at it or anything like that. So you maybe want them to wipe the crumbs off the table or put something in a waste paper basket. They'd be so honored. Let me do it. Give it to me. As you get older, you notice you don't want to do a lot of stuff, but as a child, they get really excited about it because they don't know it's going to be work and preparation for later in life. You know what I mean? So they get to learn and get to know these things at the same time. You know what I mean? So this way you expose them to a lot of different stuff, which is good. The benefits of spending time with your child. It builds a relationship with your child. Yep. All right. It builds a foundation with your child. They never forget it. You hear me talk about my father, my mother. Oh, I had fun with her. I was the one who went to the store to get all the stuff for the holiday meals. So that's how I knew the ingredients of what the holiday meal was. And later, when she passed away, I was able to remember how to cook that dish. To this day, I still cook the different dishes, and I'm 59 years old. So you build a foundation. It improves your mental health. A lot of things become tradition in families that you do. A lot of things become like a rule in the family, and stuff like that. And it helps you mentally. But you got to know the children will learn we do this in our house, but maybe my cousin, maybe not my cousin, but maybe a friend's house, they don't do that there. Like even, with different types of faith, different types of, people eat on paper plates. Some people eat on real plates. You know what I mean? All kind of stuff. They don't do that there. You might have always ate this type of food or this thing. This they don't. So you will try something different. You will try something new. And we always encourage the children, just put a little bit on your plate. We used to say that in the school, put a little bit on the plate. Or, they try to make it colorful or make it pretty. I used to act like it was so good. Even stuff I didn't like myself. Oh, this is delicious. Oh my God. You don't want any all for me. Oh, it's all right. Oh, I could do this. I could eat it. I can. And they said, "Oh, give me some, Lita." I'm like, "Oh, you want some now? You sure? Because I don't know. I can really. This is delicious." They said, "Oh, please." They get really excited. "Oh, please give me some." And I would be cracking up inside, but I couldn't show it. And I would give them some, and they gave them a chance to try it or like it. And I say, "I like it too, man. I like it too. I like it." All the kids would say different stuff. Give me more, and I would laugh inside. And the teachers would laugh because I did some of everything as a social worker in the school as well. I would, do songs with them. I would do circle time with them, nap time with them, and things like that when the teachers needed a break or go to the restroom and things of that nature. But it improves their mental health. It lowers the risk of behavioral problems because a lot of times you know your child, you know what I mean, you know what's going on, you know why they're upset, maybe they're sleepy, they're tired, they need a nap, you know what I mean, and they're fighting the sleep makes them worse, you know what I mean. Everything bothers them and they get upset and cranky and stuff. So I'm like that myself. I don't eat or get enough rest, you can always tell it. I'm usually quiet, one word answer, yeah, yeah, skies blue around, so know your child and you'll get to know your child more. Boost self confidence in your child. Oh, you did that wonderful. Nobody can clean that thing like you. Nobody can read like that. Oh, whatever it is that you know your child would need that boost, give them that boost. All right? It strengthens your relationship with your child. It makes your child feel good and more confident. My mother loved me, my father loved me, my grandma loved me. That's right. I'm just loved. You know what I mean? So it enhances their physical health too, because when they feel good and they feel happy and stuff like that, it helps. You know what I mean? It helps. It helps a great deal. Your child feels more emotionally confident. You know what I mean? They don't have to be nervous about doing something sometimes, even though sometimes you get scared of certain things, but they feel it because you spent time with them. You get closer the closer you are. You develop great memories. You know what I mean? My father used to take me out to eat and he'll say it's just me and you. I used to love that, like a date with my dad. You know what I mean? He took me to a Chinese restaurant and he would order it in their language. He knew how to speak that. He was in the army, so he learned that. So I'm like, wow. I was really impressed. I used to be glad because he took me. He could have took all of us. We did family stuff together, traveling, eating out, whatever. But that was just me and him, our thing. So I still remember that to this day. My mother would take us out every time she got paid. She took us out to eat, and she took us to, I believe it was A&S. A&S had a beautiful restaurant inside of it. It wasn't just selling clothes and stuff, and we looked forward to that. And when we didn't go there, she took us to McDonald's. As children, you like hamburgers, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So we did that too. So I still remember all of this. I thought my father could do anything. I thought nobody could beat him. I thought he was the strongest man ever. You know what I mean? And he worked hard. My mother worked hard, and they were good. And we had fun, and we laughed, and it really built memories. I hope this little talk and this will help you to build a lot of good memories with your children. You know what I mean? Laugh with them, play with them, color with them, talk with them, listen to them, and watch them grow and watch them thrive. You know what I mean? And everything, and just work with them. Work with them. I know you're a good parent already. I know you maybe do all of these things already, but it's for the ones that to remind them, to encourage them, and to even help. You know what I mean? Some things I would forget when I'm babysitting. I had my own thing where I used to babysit, and plus I get a lot of children all the time. Now I get great nieces and nephews. Before it was just nieces and nephews. Now I get great and great great nieces and nephews. Great great. They call me great great. So you get the different kinds and you get the different ones and stuff like that. I was at a health fair the other day and a child was showing me her missing teeth. So I showed her my missing teeth. You know what I mean? She felt confident and good. She came closer. You know what I mean? And she wanted to show me, not knowing that I have a condition or an issue, and they don't understand that or know that. And I'm still trying to get them to do something. I can't fit the partials in and stuff like that. But I wanted her to feel good about it because she was like this. So I said, "Oh, you got a missing teeth?" She felt bad. So I showed her my boy. We were friends after that. He kept coming back by the table, talking to me and everything like that. So you'd be surprised in the way you have to encourage a child. And in the way you have to do things with them, even as a godparent, an aunt, an uncle, or maybe a foster parent. But whatever way it is, work together with yourself, with your child, with the school, and with your family. And stay good, stay great, stay encouraged, and have a wonderful, fantabulous day. What do you think about it, guys? Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We say goodbye. 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 No fighting and no argument. Back to your spot. Back to your spot. All right. Thank you. Bye. Oh, enjoy your day. Whoo, child. Mm-hmm. Children love songs. Sing with them too. I love that. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands.